Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Duran Duran's most recent album, 2021's Future Past. It's pretty good. It's definitely one of their better albums, I would say. So this is actually a pretty good album from them. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 6 out of 12, so exactly half here. This album is pretty good because it has some great tracks, and the not so great tracks aren't bad. They don't hurt to listen to. The great tracks here are all pretty great, in my opinion, but more importantly, the rest of the songs aren't too bad to listen to. You can still easily listen to this album without having to really sift through a lot of bad things. Plus, the good tracks are sort of scattered around the album. It's not set all in one spot. The style is pretty much just sort of a throwback kind of pop, I guess. A lot of new wave influence, but not in a way that makes it seem either really innovative or super dated. So it's kind of an interesting middle there. They do try to flow between sort of upbeat hype songs and slower, more emotional tracks. It doesn't work super well because the upbeat songs are pretty good and the slower tracks aren't particularly interesting, in my opinion. So it kind of ends up being this sort of like, yeah, good track. Oh, it's not so great. Yeah, good track. But it still results in the flow being pretty good. The top half of the album is really nice, particularly starting with track 3 and going all the way to track 7 flows quite well. Despite the fact that the upbeat tracks are much higher quality, in my opinion. There were a handful of singles released before the album, starting with Invisible, More Joy, Anniversary, Tonight United, and Give It All Up, released in that order. None of those tracks off the album really hit the radio, unfortunately. At least haven't at this point, but they're probably not going to. But my favorite track here definitely got to go with Tonight United. It's got the catchiest lyrics with good upbeat music. The only thing that is really competition is from Anniversary, which is kind of a similar style. They're kind of almost the same song. It's kind of funny. But I think I like Tonight United a lot better. It's just got a better sort of vibe to it. And the lyrics are better, I think. I rank this album 6th out of Duran Duran's 15 albums, so almost in the top third, towards the bottom of the top half, I guess. This album, along with Astronaut 2004, is one of the few good Duran Duran albums released outside of the 80s. It beats out their first not-so-great album, Big Thing, in 1988, which is the big divider between the sort of good Duran Duran albums and the Duran Duran albums that are just all right or worse. So Future Past is pretty close to Astronaut in terms of quality, but I think I like Astronaut's sound and style a bit better, and it's sort of almost at Astronaut and Future Past are both almost at the sort of like peak of their career. So we'll see if they manage to get into that range with their next album. This album doesn't take my top spot from 2021 though. That goes to Imagine Dragons' Mercury Act 1, which I definitely like better. And unless you really hate Mercury Act 1, I think it would always go over Future Past. It's good, but it's not really up to the same standard of sort of quality and range, I think. I think Mercury Act 1 is definitely better. Next up is Lunar Vacation's debut, and so far only, 2021 album called Inside Every Fig is a Dead Wasp, which is a long title, but that seems to be their vibe. So Lunar Vacation won the last Minty Music poll, so it'll be interesting to see what all of you chose for me to listen to. So we'll listen to that and see what it's like. So stay tuned for that and stay minty.